Well, good evening, and welcome to Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast, where we inspire, encourage, and empower you to live a blessed and fulfilling lifestyle. I'm Anna. I'm your host. I am a retired school teacher, an author, an educational consultant, a jewelry consultant, a health advocate, and a certified cake instructor. So I bring to you a wealth of knowledge and experience to our conversation. So each episode, we kind of dive into topics that kind of enrich your life, from educational and personal development to health, wellness, and of course, the art of jewelry making. And this is done by providing workshops as well as speakers, guest speakers, and so forth to come forth and share their knowledge with you as well. So I want you to join me as we explore inspiring stories, expert insights, and practical advice to help you live that blessed and fulfilling lifestyle. And I want to thank you again for tuning in to Sweet Blessings, where every conversation is a treasure. So let's get started this evening. And I hope that you notice a difference this evening in my thing. I'm back to my old way. I finally got my desktop fixed, when they had that crash back in July. I am still recovering from that, you all. So, but I want to thank you again. And so, if you have been following me, you will know that I have been doing the series. My first series was on professional development and the things that you needed to do for that. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that a little bit later on. But also, we finished that series, and I put out an ebook, which I'm going to talk about that a little bit later on in the episode as well. So tonight, I kind of want to, it's the end of the series, and I kind of want to put all of those things together for us tonight. And that is done by what we call intentional planning, self care planning. And, you almost have to plan for everything, y'all. I hate to say it, but you have to plan for self care. And so that is what I am going to talk about this evening. I'm going to talk about why is it important that we plan. Um, I'm going to talk about a few of the planning tools that we can use. I'm also going to give you some resources because this is at the end. And I'm at the end, and I'm also going to talk about my two books that I have written because they're really excellent resource books. And I'm fortunate to have a copy of each one of them uh, this evening so I can kind of share a little feedback on that. But before we begin, we are going to, we got to go to that. We got to go to that commercial. So we're going to have a brief commercial, and then we'll be right back and we'll be talking about why planning is important. That was a really short one, okay? Because I really want to kind of get into the topic. And so we're going to talk about those lady wigs a little bit later on. I'm going to show another commercial with that. But I want to, you know, um, like I said, we've covered personal development. I can't even talk this evening. I'm so excited, I guess. But we've covered personal development, and we've also covered self care. So now it's time to move into planning. So, which is essential for turning your intentions into actions. So, I'm going to give you a breakdown um, to help you guide you through the discussion. And then at the end, I'm going to show you the books that I read and I kind of give you a little brief synopsis of those as well, because and they're very the price is low on them. Um, so the first thing, why planning is important. Number one, it gives you clarity and direction. Okay, when you plan. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I did not start planning. I never was one to plan because I wasn't taught to plan. You know what I'm saying? I just got when I first started doing like getting into my entrepreneurship, and they would talk about planning your stuff and outlining your things of what you're going to do. That's kind of when I got into planning and kind of understanding planning. Uh, Now I planned in school, but it was basically for my studies. You know what I'm saying? This day I got this to do, this day. That's a form of planning as well. So don't think that I was null and void, but I'm talking about as far as planning for my everyday, my everyday life. No. And if you do that, you're blessed. But I was not able. I did not do that. There's some things that I did, and as we go through this, I will tell you those things that I do. But basically, no. So planning helps you identify your goals, and we talked about those goals. That's what we talked about in professional development, and it maps out the steps to achieve them. It provides a clear vision for where you're going. And I'll talk about that when I talk about that first book that I wrote, because I did give you a place in there where you could do. It's a lot of hands-on and activities in that first one that I put out, where you could do your vision board and set your things up for life. And it's never too late to start. I don't care when you start, okay? You just start. That's the basic thing you want to do, is to basically get in there and start. So number two, why planning is important, is that it reduces stress and overwhelm. So when you have a lot of things going on, you can get stressed and feel overwhelmed. And sometimes you'll hear me come over here on and you'll hear me say, "Oh, I'm overwhelmed, y'all. I'm just overwhelmed. I'm just doing so much," which I am. Um, Doing a lot. And when I tell people that, they get indignant with me, y'all. They sometimes they say, "Well, I'm busy too." But I am getting much better in planning. So it looks like I'm not doing anything, but I really am doing a lot. Okay. So a good plan helps you avoid last minute panic, and it does. Knowing what to do and when brings peace of mind, and it truly does. So when I tell you about my planner, in fact, I got my planners here from last year and the year before, and the planner that I'm using, because I use them as a resource. I'm not kidding. And I'm going to tell you some other things that I have found out as I was using those planners, that planner. Okay. So a lot of people don't, uh, uh, because there's a lot of ways to plan, y'all. Another way, and I do this one a lot, is food planning. Planning your food, and then you putting, chopping up and doing all of those things like that. Now I've gotten better with that. I must say I've gotten really better with plan. But you got to plan everything. I hate to say that, but so what does that tell you? You need a day for planning. You need a day where you can just map out what you want to do for that week. I would start with that week. I do monthly, but what I have found now is that I need to do weekly and daily. I need to break it all the way down. That's what I'm finding. So I'm learning as I go. So I'm telling you about the things that I have learned. Okay. Now, the third thing is with why planning is important is because you have better time management. Better time management. And that's another thing you'll hear me say, time just got away from me. Because sometimes it does. It gets away from me. Um, I don't know whether I'm doing too much, but I look up and I have plenty of time. And then the next time I look, I'm rushing. The time is just, it's gone just that quick. Okay. The fourth thing is that it increases accountability, y'all. When you plan, you create benchmarks. This makes it easier to track progress and stay motivated. It increases accountability. So when you plan, you can see that accountability. And then the last thing under why planning is important is that it improves your decision making. With a plan in place, you can make more thoughtful, intentional choices that align with your goals. Your goals. Remember, this is all about self improvement because self improvement is important. Okay. When you feel good, you can do more. And that's why I'm doing this. And another thing is that you just don't want to let other people bring you down because they will. They'll see that you're happy and they want to bring you, they want to bring you down. So I think it's time for us to take another one of those commercial breaks. And I think I'm going to do this one this time. Okay, we are back. I was giving a cough. But we are back. I'm Anna. I am the host of Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast. And if you look down there, you'll see Soul Lady Wigs, which is I am wearing one of her wigs, one of their wigs. Now, they are one of my affiliates. I'm a sponsor. They send me wigs. So from time to time, I put their wigs on. I love their wigs, y'all. They're high quality wigs. They just flow as if it was, it is 100% hair. And, this company makes wigs for you. They will make and customize your wig for you. So I wanted to let you all know that. So that is the link down there. I also want to let you know that I am part of CTR Media Network, which is seen in over 350 million households in over 100 countries, y'all. Isn't that something? So Miss Judy is saying, God bless Night Beautiful. She is such a lovely soul. Thank you so much, Miss Judy, for your blessings this evening. We just got to get together. I know we both are busy, but we just got to get together because Miss Judy has an outreach program that is so dynamite. And we've been trying to get together to have each other on each other's program. And we just, what did I just tell y'all? Overwhelmed. Seriously. But also, you can send me stars, and you can also send stars to CTR Media Network as well. And you can also send me stars. I think I have my banner here for me. This, if you're on Facebook, facebook.com stars. So I'm going to get all of my housekeeping out of the way right now. I do go live on Instagram, y'all, and I go live on Instagram and Facebook with my jewelry. On Instagram is Thursday. I go live on 2 platforms there. And I also go live on Facebook with my jewelry that's on my personal profile. as well. And then this is my website for my jewelry account if you're interested in going there and looking at some of my uh, products. And you can also order from there if you're interested as well. I do have a website. This is my website. You can contact me anytime at that website if you have any questions regarding advertising and being a sponsor or doing a commercial or a guest slot on my program. That's the information there where you can contact me there. And I'm really asking everyone to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and there it is there at Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast SWE. And I want to thank all of my subscribers, followers, those people who like and who share my video. It is because of you that I have reached um, several plateaus in the social media platform, and I'm grateful for that. And so I want to take this time right now to say thank you for the blessings that you have bestowed upon me as well. So, anyway, let's get back, okay, to uh, planning tools to use. Okay. Now, the number one thing that it says on my list here is that you should use a daily planner or a weekly planner. Now, this is where I fall short. Okay. But I do realize that I do need it. And so therefore I will be purchasing a a weekly planner as well as a daily planner. And I'll tell you why. The planner that I use is a monthly planner. I plan everything out. And during the next commercial break, I'm going to get that planner so you can see it. And I can plan my whole thing out for the month, all of my activities. Now, but in that one little square, like Monday, I might have 4 or 5 things to do. And so I need to plan for the week, so that because that's a monthly one. So I need a calendar now to plan for the week. And then I need one to do for daily, because during the daily, that's when you're going to put in your exercise. Okay, because that's not on my big calendar. You're going to put in your exercise when you go exercise, when you go into the store. You got the time there. And then I believe if I get into that, I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna still have problems with my time, but I think that it'll be better. Okay. So that is what I need to do. So it's great for organizing your schedule to do and appointments. Okay. Now I do all of that. Like I said, I do all of that, but the calendar is monthly. But now I see that I need to get into weekly planning as well as daily planning. And I do have a day. I learned when I was, yeah, I realized that I needed a lot of help. So, at one point I had a health coach, which I still do. I can always call her, and she kind of helped me um, get myself together as far as planning my meals. Okay. And so that's when I came up with, I had to have a day. You have to have a day to plan, and you got to block off that time. Now, I'm going to really tell you when I really got into planning was when I sold Mary Kay Cosmetics. So I always tell people I've sold many things. You have to, and I will keep selling until I find my niche. But I think I found my niche with the jewelry. But they had the best planning calendar. Oh, it was for daily. I mean, daily. And I wish I could find it now, but I have not been able to find that. And that is kind of how I got into planning my days. was through that. I'm telling you, all my stuff that I learned by accident. I didn't get into that because they don't have those type of things in school unless you have a role model or someone in your home that does that. Now, my mother planned stuff like grocery shopping and all that stuff. So I did pick up her things for that because she would put a list there and, and do all that. Now, the second thing is saying that you can have a digital calendar. So you can use a Google Calendar or an Outlook, but I'm old school, you all. I try, like sometimes when I'm on the computer, it'll say, "Do you want to save this to your calendar?" And I'll say yes, and it'll put it in my Google calendar. But I'm not up on computer literacy as much as maybe I should be. Um, but I'm still that type that needs to write it down. And but it's helpful for setting reminders, scheduling tasks, and syncing with others. Because sometimes I don't have my calendar with me, and I will use my calendar that is on my phone. So I would jot it down on that, and your phone will send you reminders about it. And sometimes when I get home, I will check for that to make sure I transferred on my main calendar because you got to keep all of these things together, y'all. Um, Goal setting worksheets. Okay. These are all tools. And in my first book, Professional Development, I gave you all of these things I gave you. So you don't even have to look for it. You don't have to do it. It's all right there for you. All you got to do is have a pen to write on, even space to write on it. Um, and with that, you want to break down big dreams into manageable steps with clear um, timelines. And I've talked about that. That's what I talked about in the first series is you want to take those big goals that you have and you want to break them down into smaller goals. And you'll see that you'll be able to attain that big goal because you've broken it down into little bitty goals. And then the vision board, it can be physical or digital. That's also in that book, in my first book that I sent out. So there's visual planning to inspire and motivate. And it's great for seeing your why every day, every day. Now, I have a visual board. It's not on a board. I did it digitally on the computer. I did it through a program and it has all of my areas there. So, uh, in it. And I post it on my refrigerator because I'm going into that refrigerator every day. So I see it every day. Every day I see that. So it's built into my mind. And you might not think that that works, but it does work because I have been places and you know sometimes I say, "Oh, I'm home already," and I just you don't really follow that's your subconscious. Your subconscious got you there, and so that is what basically is going on with that. So when you visualize it and you see it every day, it's going to happen. You're going to make it. You're going to manifest it. You know what I'm saying? And just believe, you all. Believe, believe. And that's another thing I think that I would sometimes we doubt ourselves. And sometimes we just have to listen to God, y'all. Seriously. Miss Dr. Tina Ramsey says hello. And then she also says that personal development is a must. It is. It is, y'all. It's important because it makes you feel so good. And you'll find those things that kind of uh, resonate with you and it'll keep you going because sometimes your friends won't keep you going. And I'm just saying, basically, that's what, is going on. And that's why I'm here. somebody help me, I got to help somebody, got to pay it forward. And that's what it's all about. And then there are mind mapping tools like Xmind, Canva. I use a lot of Canva, y'all, and pen and paper. That's it, pen and paper. Write down your thoughts. Nothing is silly. Okay. If I don't write down my thoughts, whenever I get a thought, y'all, I write it down. So you might see paper everywhere with little things on it because I write down my thoughts, but then I can't find the paper. But later on, when I'm thinking about the thought, but it's there. And I need to just get a book and just put all of my thoughts in it. But sometimes you can't find the book. But I do remember when I was teaching, we had to do anecdotal records. And we, in my classroom, and we had to have, I wore an apron. And so when I could jot down something about a student, I would, carry one of those little Post-its. And I would jot it down and just stick it down into my apron. And then later on, I would go and I would transfer it over to their records or whatever. So I need to develop a system. You got to develop a system in your life, y'all. It's believe it or not, you got to have a system. Okay. And when that system is out of whack, you're out of whack. Okay. And so we must take the steps to get that system back in order. Okay. And I'm hoping that I am giving you some of those steps this evening. Then the habit tracker or self-care tracker. I also provided that in my book on professional development so that you would not have to go through there and look for those things because you're not going to do it if you got to look. Now, all you got to do is pay that little minimum fee and get that book, and all the tools and things that you need are in that book, you all. So, but the trackers, what they do is they monitor you. They monitor your consistency, and it also helps you with your small wins. It helps you all. So, and then the last thing in tools is journals. And I know that you have heard me many, many, many times talking about reflect and writing down. You just heard me say, writing down your thoughts and reflect. Go back and look at it. You'll be surprised. You can learn from yourself, really. Oh, that's so good. Because sometimes I can talk. Ooh, my mouth gets so dry, y'all. But let me tell you this. I'm going to give you some thought starter questions, okay? And you might have heard them before, I don't know. But just to get your mind going, okay? And the, I've always been this way, even with my children, because I wanted my children when I was teaching to learn problem solving and skills. And we need to be able to, because problems is all in our life, but we need to know problem solving skills so we know how to work and overcome those problems and skills that we're having. So these are 3 thought processes for you to think about. You can write them down. You can think about them, but they're great starters for you. The first one is, and do it for April. Do it for April because March is gone. Okay, so you can start on this in April, and I'm gonna be making some changes, y'all. I'm still gonna be on here, but I'm going to be kind of changing my platform a little bit. So, but you'll be hearing about it, and so you'll know. But the first one is, what are your top 3 goals for the month? So even if you don't want to start it in April, whenever you started? What are your top 3 goals for the month? The next one is, what are some small steps you can take toward those goals each week? What are some small steps that you can take toward those goals each week? And the last one is, what time of day works best for you to reflect and reset? What time of day works best for you to reflect or reset? Just 3 thought questions uh, for you. And guess what? We're going to take another commercial. And when I come back, I am going to give you some resources that you can use to help you. So let's take that commercial. All right, I always play that because I think people should be aware of the reach for CTR Media Network. And so that there listed in the United States as well as worldwide. So it is a global um, entity, and I wish people would take advantage of the sponsorships and the advertising if you want to have visibility for your business. Okay. Not only is it shown on my show, but it's part of the network. Once you come on my show, it's part of the network, and so it's shown on all of the TV networks as well. So you will get plenty of advertising and plenty of visibility for your product, whether it's a product, whether it's whether it's a sponsorship for your company, or whether it's just advertising. So I would consider it. Consider that. But so I want to talk about resources. So you all remember this? I used to have all of my stuff up. So resources for ongoing growth, personal development, self-care planning. Look at that S right there. I always tell people you shouldn't show your flaws, but somehow or another it went there. But anyway, let's go on. So the first one that I want to talk to you about is the top books for personal development. Look up there. Look what's number 1, y'all. Practical steps for personal development. And let me see, I think this is what it looks like. Okay, let me see if I can get back to my original, and then I'll go back to that. So this is what it's thick, y'all. It's thick. Look at that. And because I want to go over. This is the time that I said I was gonna go over the books because I'm talking about practical resources. So this is the book. It has a little picture of me on it, y'all. Look at that. Isn't that cute? And there's a little message there, and it tells you how you can use the book. I don't even think you all can see this up, but it tells you how you can use the book. I just briefly go over it. There's a table of contents, and it talks about the first chapter is reflect, release, reset. Chapter 2, mindset makeover, goal setting with the purpose and habits. 4 is habits that stick, and number 5 is living with intentions. And so in each one of these, there's activities. So chapter 1, every day I grow stronger and wiser. And it says, what was my proudest achievement last year? Okay. What challenges taught me valuable lessons? So these, to me, are questions that you need to be asking yourself, because these are the questions that will help you with personal development. What am I grateful for? I'm just going over some of the things. And then it says, write down what you need to release and visualize letting it go. Okay. Because you need to do that. And then you want to write a vision statement for the year. Okay. Years are not always January to December. A year can be February to February, or however. Okay, it just doesn't matter. And then it says in 2025, I will. So it gives you a kind of thing to kind of get yourself going. But and then it talks about growth mindset and fixed mindset, which I talked about. And if you want, you can go and you can look at these on YouTube. And I give you mindful prompts that you can use. It's just an excellent book, y'all. I give you a tracker, habit stacking. I talk about that. There's a habit tracker in there. It's just a lot of good down home, good old information in there to help you, and you don't have to do that. There's even a page on short-term and long-term goals for you, and it talks about SMART goals and how you can take your goals and work with them to make them. I tried to provide you with all of the resources in here. I cannot speak for the other books that I'm going to tell you about in the thing, but I'm telling you. Then I gave you a list of affirmations, and there's a couple of books that I have that I use that I don't have with me right now, but I will uh, do it. I might do it. And then there's a gratitude journal page. And then what went well with you this month at the end of the month, and what could I improve for next month? So it, sends you thinking in the future too. Your vision board template is here. And then I gave a few little closing remarks and thank you for joining me on the journey, because this journey is not just your journey, it is my journey as well. We're doing this journey together as well. And so let me go back to my slide on the books here. Uh-oh. Okay, let me go back. So the next one is Atomic Habits by James Clear. And then we have The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey, and the the Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod, Essentialism by Greg McKeown, and Self Comparison by Dr. Christian Neff. And so then we have, that's top books. Look at that. Podcasts that inspire. So we have Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast. We have the Kim Jacobs Show, Real Men Talk, Therapy for Black Girls, The Mindset Mentor, and there's many others, you all. Don't think that. Balanced Black Girl, On Purpose with Jay Shetty, and the CTI Media Network just has loads and loads of podcasts that can inspire you along the way. Also, apps. These are apps. There's apps for consistency. Uh, you might not know that, but it is. So there's an insight timer, which is calm, and for meditation, Habitica, Streaks Habit. That's a habit tracking one. Notions, Evernote is for planning. YouVersion daily devotions, and Shine app, which is self support. So you want to use some of these apps. Hopefully, they can help you. And then we have online platforms for learning. Now, I put KBBU LLC University there because I am currently taking a course there, and I'm telling you, this girl is something else, y'all. Oh my Lord, I have learned so much. It is I believe, a 6 month. I started in January, it's over in June. And I have learned so much about my business and how to set it up. And she also does a credit repair business, and she has undergrad and master's courses. So I highly recommend her if you're interested in getting your business affairs in order as well as your credit. And then you have Mind Valley, which is a personal transformation courses. You have Skillshare, which is creative and self-care skills. You have Coursers, edX, universal level learning. Tiny Buddha, which is mindfulness and wisdom. TED Talks, ideas that inspire you as well. So I want you to keep growing one step at a time. Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and out. That's by Robert Collier. And just remember to support Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and podcast. If you need to get in touch with me, that's my email there. Then you have also the CTR Media Network, network.com/sweet blessings, which I am a part of as well. So before I leave and make the summary, I would like to take one more commercial break. And then when I come back, I will do the summary. Okay, let me get myself back here. All righty, so I want to thank you all for blessing me this evening. As well. And also, I want to well, let me put it to you like this. I hope that I have inspired you. I hope that I have encouraged you. And I hope that I have inspired you to live a blessed and fulfilling life. Now, this is my next book. It's a 30-day guide to prioritizing yourself. Okay. And I will be offering this book and my other book, two for the price of one, $5, y'all. I will post the information on my Facebook page as well. And this one talks about what I've been talking about for the past 5 weeks. What the importance of skincare. I'm going to just briefly go over it because it's ready, but I just have not put it into the thing for it to be so. How self-care enhances success in your daily life. It talks about what to expect in the guide, and then it goes weekly by theme. It's theme related. So the first week is on mental clarity, okay? And then it gives you 7 days of activities for you to be aware of for mental clarity. The second week is on physical wellness. That's your body. The third week is on spiritual growth. And then it gives you activities and stuff that you can do for each one of those days. It's a 30-day guide. And then the fourth week, it helps you to create a sustainable self-care routine, which is what I talked about uh, last Wednesday. And there is a sustainable checklist as well as a community-based checklist there, telling you places where you can go in the community to get self-help or self-care things, because there's many places, y'all. Okay. um the doctor, that's number one. A local or online support group, and these are emotional supports, and I kind of did it into areas. Find an accountability partner, that's accountability. Participate in group website, that's a accountability. So like, I'm part of the CTI Media Network. I'm accountable there. We're all accountable. Attend community weekly meetings, shared resources. So that can be like a Bible study. I go there weekly. And I'm sure you have something that you do weekly that's part of the community. So I wanted you to see that. And then the sustainable one, uh, everybody can do. Keep a bottle of water with you daily. You have to do it, just do it daily. Keep a bottle of water with you. Find activities you enjoy and do them daily. So none of the things on in this book are things that you cannot do. And then at the end, I gave you a final self-care challenge, the power of one. You can look at it, and it's for 7 days, so you get an extra 7 days. Not only do you get the 30 days, but you're going to get the extra 7 days. Plus, it's going to be 2 for 1, y'all. So look forward to you uh, getting the books and communicating with me on my new platform, because I am going to have a new platform very soon, and where all of my stuff can be up under one thing. So with that being said, I'm going to leave you all this evening with my 3 L's. Ooh, my 3 L's. You all know what they are. The first one is to live. So you want to live your life to the fullest. Make sure you do those things in your life that bring you joy and happiness. The second thing is to laugh. Um, Somebody told me today it was the greatest compliment they could have ever given me, is that I made them laugh. And so I said thank you for that, because you know what? It made her feel good. And that was what's more important, that people feel good, because laughter is good for the soul. I tell everybody that all the time. And then the other thing is to love, love, love. The most important person to love is you. Y'all have a blessed evening. See you next Wednesday. Bye bye.